Hey folks, so today we're going to be doing a GPU repair um, on a Gigabit 5080. I've already got it pre-torn apart, just wanted to save time on that. We're going to be replacing the power connector, also doing some recording from the Meta glasses. So it's a Gigabit Geforce RTX 5080 that we're working on. Customer broke the pin connector, so it's not locking in correctly. So we got some new ports that we're going to solder on. These boards are very, very thermal hungry, so they take a lot of heat. Doing this on my day off because it does take a little bit of time to get those removed. That's why I had this pre-torn apart, because I didn't want to bore you with the teardown of it itself. Just basically doing the primary component removal. So that's what we're going to work on today, getting that done. Get the board prepped in the jig to hold it. Sure we're not in the way of some components. So again, these boards take a lot of heat to remove these because of just how thick the boards are. They're very, very thermal hungry. Thought I had it high enough. There we go. A little higher. There we go. Then we got to worry about that little diode, or the resistor and the LED. Make sure we don't lose that. So, flux and low solder, low melt is our friend in this situation today for this type of repair. So we're going to first apply some low melt to help get that melted down, to help dissipate all the other pads. And like I said, the card works. Customer stated the card works. It just, he pulled on it way too hard, broke the connector, and feels unsafe that it won't stay in, which I get where he's coming from. Because, I mean, on an expensive card like this, you want to make sure that it does stay locked in so you don't get any thermal overload, which causes the connector to melt. So yeah, we're going to spend some time on this today, trying to get that melted down. We may remove the LED and that resistor just to be on the safe side so we don't float those off. Haven't decided yet if I'm ready to remove them or not. Maybe you can see that even just putting the low melt on there does take a little bit of time. I mean, I have my iron set it almost the highest it wants to go. I don't want to go any higher. I'm going to edit this video. This video will be fast forward through it because I don't want to bore you with the process itself. Because of how long it does take to heat these things up and remove them. It does take a lot of heat. I'm doing this on my day off just so I can stay on top of the repair. Okay, so that one being loose. That one, that one. Those ones I'm not too worried about. It's on the rest of them. Make sure I get those melted down good enough, especially the legs. The legs are going to take a lot of heat. Get there. I guess I should turn on my fume extractor. That thing gets so freaking loud. Oh, and then the top of my fume extractor pops right off. Yay. Oh, oh shit. Blob of my solder just fell off. So I'm gonna get that soaked up. Don't need to leave that on there. Alrighty, now comes the fun part. It's going to take some time to heat up. And see, even at 500 degrees Celsius, 80 flow, has not done anything yet to melt this down. Oh, there it goes. Now it's starting to melt them down. Oh, great. Where's my pliers? Put my pliers on the opposite side of where I need them to be at. I'm also going to use so it takes a lot of heat to get this thing to melt all the way through. And see, just with how much heat I'm already melting the connector. It can happen because it's exposed right there. What's on there? Budged yet. Pretty sure the other ones have. Things loose. No. The amount of heat it takes to break these things loose is ridiculous. Wish this was an easy repair. Fortunately, it isn't. Let's see if I can assist with my iron. A lot of people are going to freak out that I'm putting a soldering iron, a very, very hot soldering iron in my mouth, but do what you got to do. One side's getting there, the other side hasn't fully released yet. Well, there we go. Well, and there we go. Now the fun part of getting everything soaked up, the holes, since I don't have a solder sucker. Just, oh, there it is. Can't find my freaking. I know my way of repair can be somewhat unorthodox, but each their own. You have to heat that up some more. Well, not that far in. That was going to take a little bit longer to get off on this one. Alrighty. Let's check and see which holes are going all the way through, which I doubt all of them. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. That ground leg. That one. That one. That. Nope. Yes, yes. Okay. So let's clean this up. Alrighty. That's good enough for now. Oh, where's my brush? Amongst my dirty desk. Guess I gotta take a call. Give me 1 second. My brother's calling. Yeah. At the shop doing a repair real quick. I am, but when I have a job that I need to get taken care of, because it's a high ticket item, I want to get it done. So, right, let me call you back, okay? All right. Bye. So, pause the interruption on that. My brother called. There we go. So yeah, once this gets done, then you gotta redo all the thermal paste and thermal paste. I'm also gonna, well, thermal compound and thermal paste across the whole board. Gonna apply all brand new to it, so it's all fresh and new. Obviously, you can see that not every single hole got so do we yeah, let's try it on the other side. that squeaking noise you hear in the background, that's my 3D printer, because ever since buying it, all I've been doing is just printing a bunch of crap in the background, either for the shop or for the house. Doing boards like this it can be fun, but no fun in the long run, because you literally melt the living hell out of these damn things. Okay, so the process what we're going to do is kind of like a hot swap, but not fully like a hot swap. So what I'm going to do is get the board as hot as I can. And once we get it all to melt, we are going to drop the new connector through the hole. And basically, as you can see, so that's what was broken off, was that little nib right there. I don't know if you can, that little nib in the center, that's what was broken off. Obviously melted on this one, but the customer wants to make sure that it stays locked in, and I get what he's talking about. So we're going to heat this again from underneath. I'm going to heat it again from the bottom side, because that's where we're originally heating it from. It's back into focus. Let's get the majority of this melted down so we can push through. So you can see on how long, just even with what little solder was left in there, still takes some time to heat it up. So see, I can push through that hole. Can't even push. Well, now it's starting to. You see, it still takes time to heat up these boards hot enough. And also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill those holes. So basically, we're going to kind of backfill the holes. So there's already solder there. We'll drop it through. And make sure all the legs stay hot. So what I'm going to do is basically kind of puddle each one. Put a little bit of solder on each one. So the way I do soldering can be unorthodox. Why does it want to go through that hole? All right, well. Well. Alright, let's make sure. Soft. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1. Just hold that there. Let that cool. Now we'll flip it over. Add solder on the other side. My day off, I'm waiting for a FedEx order. Hopefully it arrives on time. I highly doubt that it will. So, we'll see. So now we will add solder to the legs, and we will leave a lot of heat, leaving the tip on there for a little bit to try to help soak it through to the other side. That's why I add solder to the legs, to assist with that. And I know a lot of people are going to probably comment, why did you use a fume extractor? I do and I don't. I know I should. I need to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on my mood. Plus, I need to redo it. It sits in a bad position. What I need to do is get it to where it comes above. That's where it really needed at. I need to redo my hose. So, yeah, this is what it takes to get a connector swapped out on a 40 or 50 series card, even the 30 series. The 30 series, it's not as heat conductive, but it is still heat conductive. It's mainly these 40s and 50 series. They are very, very thermal hungry. They have a thick, thick ground plane. So you can't just use any ordinary soldering pin. You have to have something that gets very, very hot. Also with a heat gun or hot air gun to help assist with the heat transfer. Let's get that cleaned up, see how it looks. Brush. As much or all of the flux out of there. Don't want to leave no residue. So I'm happy with those joints. Take a look at the reverse side. Clean some more right there. As you can see, solder pull through. So the solder went all the way through. That's what we want. Drop this down. Where are we at? There we are. That's what you want to see when you're doing through hole solders. You want to see that solder pull through and go to the back side of the legs. Now you don't need it to go crazy. You just need it to pull through. That means that solder has gone through all the layers and has gone through the whole board from top to bottom. That's what you want. So, clean and clean on the other side. So now all I gotta do is just put all the new thermal basically add all new to that. So add replace here, put new thermal paste on the actual GPU itself, but that's pretty much how it's done. Some people will say it's straightforward, some people won't, but that is your (16-pin) GPU replacement on RTX Gigabyte Geforce RTX 5080. Take it easy.